Good morning, Dan and Amy. That only took a year. Parents from Naperville District 203, Indian Prairie District 204, Plainfield 202, Geneva 304, St. Charles 303, Oswego 308, Canelan 302, Hinsdale District 86, and Community High School District 99 are expected to attend a rally this Sunday. We Unite for the Kids rally in downtown Naperville at the Free Speech Pavilion. That'll need to be renamed.
Free speech, please. Yeah, and the goal is to return to 5 full days of instruction with lunch, folks, and activities.
The guest speakers include Paul Vallis, former public schools CEO, State Senator Darren Bailey from Southern Illinois is running for governor, State Rep Darren Bailey. Of course, the Chicago Tribune has it wrong. He's a state rep, not a state senator, you morons. Oh my God. And Amy Jacobson, who apparently is a local radio talk show host.
Uh-oh, am I going to get kicked out of Pritzker's press conferences again?
Some school board and municipal candidates will also be in attendance. One would think they would want to be where the parents are if they're interested in being elected come the April municipal elections. And so what's this all about? Why not just continuing to defer to the experts on the school board, the superintendent, the administrators, the teachers union, like these dutiful suburbanites have been doing for the last year? You can probably tell I'm not so rah-rah about this because of the time it's taken for common sense to kick in. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Raj Pillai. He's a parent in Plainfield School District 202. He's a school board candidate and an organizer of this We Unite for Kids rally this Sunday in Naperville. Raj, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
What took so long?
You know, it's interesting. One of those people that paid attention to these types of things. You know, I was a parent that was okay with everything that was happening. The school district is great, by the way. Our district, 202. And we just thought it was time for a change based on all the stuff that's happening to our kids and all the anxiety and just the learning loss. They absolutely do. And when they took a step back, I think what happens is a lot of people don't pay attention to the school board. And, you have low expectations, that sets low standards, and if you have a low level of results, that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure I understood the answer to my first question. Why did it take so long to get to this place? What was unclear to the parents in 202 and these other school districts going back to last summer when you had schools in European countries that were open, schools in other states that were open, private schools that were open, the concerns that were being raised about kids not being in the classroom, the studies from universities like Brown about what happened to kids when school got shut down for spring semester last year. Why did it take till mid-March of this year for parents in these educated parents in these suburban school districts, professionals making good money in these school districts to rally for their kids and stand up to the school board, the administrators, the teachers union?
That's a really great question. And, there's and sitting where I am as a parent right now that's running for the board of elections, but I don't really, it's so hard for me to tell you an answer because what you're saying is absolutely right. And the issue is that there are so many, the Illinois Department of Public Health, the CDC, now we have the ISBE. I felt like all of them had to come together and collaborate with our school boards to say that, hey, we're going to go back. It's like they could have made the decisions earlier. I mean, these bodies that I told you about, they set guidelines. They don't set policy. Our board set policy. We elect them as local parents and taxpayers in the district to make decisions for us. And I think, and I'm sorry to say this, but they failed us.
Don't be sorry to say that. They did fail you. And a lot of school boards failed a lot of children. And teachers union have hurt our kids more than coronavirus has, I can tell you that. But who are you running with? Give us their names, and then are you going to be speaking at the event too on Saturday?
Absolutely. So I'm running with some of the greatest people that I've met, and I just want to say their names. It's Annie Klupshus, Nick Gianassi, and Rick Todd. They're my running mates, and we're running as a slate under 202 Parents for Choice. We organized as maybe 2 or 3 parents, and now we're about 1,000 parents in the district, and we're trying to make a change. This rally that's happening, we're actually collaborating with the nearby district, the ones that you guys mentioned. But I think we've got about 8 districts. We're all under a common cause, which is reopen schools 5 days a week. Right now, I think our school districts are generally going into 5 days, but they're doing 5 half days. Somehow they cannot go to 5 full days a week. And, parents are still,
it's no way to live. I mean, it's
yeah. Okay. So your slate gets onto the school board. Let's like talk nuts and bolts here.
Sure.
Your slate gets on the school board, and then what happens? Who's in charge of that school district? Is the superintendent, who I assume was collaborating with the school board and the teachers union to present the last year that has been presented? Those were their decisions, as you say. They're in charge of the school. So what is it going to be when you have some overeducated, whatever overeducated simpleton is your superintendent? I don't really care. And the teachers union boss is telling you what time it is. Then what are you guys going to do?
Yeah, and that's a great question. I get that question almost every single day, as we've all been campaigning. And what we're going to do, we have to take a step back and look at what a board of directors does in a school district. If they call this, this is a big word, but it's a fiduciary duty to the taxpayer, which means, in this case, it's generally the students and parents, and they're the people that pay taxes. So our responsibility, they vote for us, they elect us. Our responsibility is to them. And what we want to do differently is we want to take the voice of those parents and bring it into the decisions that are made. And when we look back, our school district did a survey in July. 72% of parents wanted to go back in some form of in-person learning. Mm-hmm. Yet the board didn't decide that decision that the parents made. And one of the biggest changes that we want to make is make those voices heard.
When was that survey taken?
This was done in July.
July of last year. That's right. 3/4 of parents wanted their kids back in school in July of last year, and here we're having in March of the following year, we got a Unite for the Kids rally from the parents. It's just remarkable to me. It's remarkable.
They didn't release the results of that survey, by the way, until later, until after the decision was made. So we didn't know the results until after.
Yeah, why give the people and the parents what they want? It's ridiculous.
And what about the curriculum at Plainfield 202? With the culture of responsive teaching that's been implemented, the slavery is the central animating fact of this experiment in representative Republican government that we call America, rather than a textured history of America that includes the good, the bad, and the ugly. Are we going to have a school board that's actually going to pay attention to what's going on in the classroom once they're back in the classroom?
That's a great question. We had a town hall yesterday, and I had this exact thing by someone. They asked me about the REACH Act, which is sexual education in the classroom. I think they're expanding that. They also asked about the culturally responsive training. And what it was? I took a step back, and I thought about how to answer that. And the first thing I said is, parents know what's best for their children. And that's kind of where our philosophy starts, and I think that my running mates would agree with this, is that if there is the REACH Act actually, expand sexual education, I support some parts of that, but the REACH Act also allows parents to opt out of that training. And, as far as culturally responsive training, I think
that's an interesting word, training. Not learning, training. Mm-hmm. That's an interesting word, isn't it? Training.
Yeah, culturally responsive training, there's two sides to this. They're educating teachers within the university right now as to, how to be aware of cultural norms and things like that. Mm-hmm. And they're graduating. Once they graduate, they say that it won't go into the curriculum, but teachers are being trained that way. Mm-hmm. But again, I go back to the parent. There are certainly different communities where they do not, they may not want their children to learn certain things a certain way. And I think they should have a choice. And that's one of our platforms. our main platform is choice. If parents don't have a choice, I think things get authoritative. And, I don't think we should not be dictating to the parents what their children should be learning. Really, our job is to approve the curriculum, but again, that should be through the parent's voice.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that, and I appreciate that you and your slate have the temerity to take up this challenge and hold yourselves out for office and try and change things in 202. But I would suggest your fiduciary responsibility demands more. It actually demands that you stand for what you know to be true when it comes to both the finances of the school district as well as the way kids learn and the difference between learning and indoctrinating for political purposes, because that is what has become of K through 12 education. And oh, by the way, against the backdrop of that, in terms of priority as a school board member, as an educational institution, yeah, I mean, Plainfield School District 202 is okay. I wouldn't write home about it. 44% of the students are proficient in reading, 40% proficient in math, according to state test scores. Now, your average SAT is 1,200, ACT is 26. That's not bad. It's not super. So, I wouldn't just run around being one of those parents and one of these communities that celebrates your school because you have an affinity, because you chose to live there, and there's sort of a willful blindness culture that goes on to actually what's happening and how good the schools really are in terms of preparing kids for the next level and beyond.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, we have to take a step back and say, these school shutdowns, for example, who does it affect the most? It affects our most marginalized communities, the children, the vulnerable children within them. And if we're not paying attention to their skills, you mentioned Plainfield, but across the board in these communities, math and reading, those are issues.
Yeah.
And we've got time to talk about culturally responsive training and things like that. I'm open to those ideas, but let's get children proficient in the fundamentals where, we're failing them, especially in those marginalized communities.
And Raj, what do you do professionally?
I'm actually a CPA. I'm inactive. I don't practice anymore, but that's my trade.
Thank God.
Yes,
a CPA in public office. That sounds like a good idea.
Yes.
Raj Pillai, parent in School District 202, Board of Education candidate there, organizer of the We Unite for Kids rally this Sunday in Naperville. Our very own Amy Jacobson is one of the featured speakers, don't you know? 11 a.m., Free Speech Pavilion, downtown Naperville, and it's 8 school districts from the western burbs that our parents are going to be there to rally for the kids to finally get these schools open and educating every day, all day. Raj, thanks for joining us. Good luck with the rally. Good luck with the candidacy, and we hope for big things for you and from you in the coming days and months to come.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Please vote, everyone, April 6th.
Okay. Thanks, Raj. We'll see you Sunday. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The Lou Dobbs Financial Report is brought to you by Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Some workers are being saved by the pandemic. Mississippi governor signs ban against transgender athletes in female sports. Digital art auction yields $70 million. Those stories next.
The following is a paid announcement. The advertiser was paid a marketing fee for a digital campaign. Please make sure to review our disclaimer on our report page.
The red-hot market for plant-based food is accelerating. And with significant consumer demand, plant-based foods could create a massive multi-billion-dollar market over the next few years. If you've been watching this sector, then you know that major food companies and even fast food retailers are jumping on the bandwagon for health-conscious, plant-based meat alternative foods. Get the latest research on this sector free with your free report from Avid Biotech Stocks when you text PLANT to 48542. Plant-based foods and the companies that are behind them could be worth up to an approximately $74.2 billion in the next 7 years. Find out which companies are leading the charge with your free research from Biotech Stock News. Get this red-hot intelligence delivered directly to your mobile device so you can make decisions as market